You might think introverts don't crave adventure, but guess what? We do. We love adventure. It just doesn't look like the same kind of adventure that extroverts like. No crowded tours or wild parties for us. Instead, we like sunrise hikes, solo travel, new places to reflect and feel alive. If you've ever dreamed of exploring the world intentionally and quietly and on your own terms, this video's for you. Hi, I'm Kate. I'm an introvert expat living in Indonesia, and I make videos about living the best life you can, whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, an expat, a retiree, a digital nomad, whatever. Welcome to my YouTube channel, KateGypsy. Have you ever sat quietly in your cozy chair, sipping tea, watching the rain dance against the window, and suddenly imagined yourself hiking through the Himalayas or riding a motorbike through a quiet village in Vietnam? I used to have those dreams many times. But then one day, my dream came true when I took a 3-month job in Indonesia. And here I am, 42 years later, still enjoying this adventure. Yeah, a lot of people assume that introverts don't crave adventure, but actually, we often crave it deeply. We just crave it differently. You and I, as introverts, might not be drawn to adrenaline pumping group tours or spontaneous karaoke nights in a crowd of strangers. Oh no. But that doesn't mean we don't long for adventure in our lives. In fact, we might dream of it just as much, maybe even more, because our rich inner world is always imagining, observing, and wondering what else is out there. The difference is in how we define adventure. For some people, adventure is all about thrill: skydiving, zip lining, club hopping. But for us introverts, adventure often looks quieter. It might be walking solo through a new city at sunrise before the crowds inundate the place. It might be sitting on a train with a journal in your lap, watching a foreign countryside blur past your window. Or maybe wandering through a tiny bookshop in a country where you barely speak the language. Yes, we introverts crave adventure with intention. It's not about showing off or checking boxes off a bucket list. It's about experiencing something real. That's probably why expat life was perfect for me. It has definitely been real and full of adventure. Even after more than 40 years living in Indonesia, I still find adventure regularly, sometimes more often than I want. So we don't chase adventure just for the thrill or the photo op. We're not trying to impress anyone or rack up a list of places visited like it's a competition. When we say we want to experience something real, we mean we want it to mean something. We want to feel connected to where we are, not just pass through. That's why expat life can be the perfect adventure. Yes, for us, real adventure is about depth. It's about being fully present in a moment, not distracted, not performing, just being there. It might be figuring out how to rent a house or apartment in your new country. Or it might just be something simple like sitting on a bench in a mountain village or sipping tea in silence. It can look simple from the outside, but on the inside, our minds are having a world unfold. So when we seek adventure, we do it with purpose, something that expands from the inside outward. That's what it means to experience something real. And for introverts, that's where the magic lives. We want to feel alive in a way that still allows us to recharge, reflect, and stay grounded in ourselves. That's the kind of adventure that we introverts crave. It might surprise people how bold introverts can be. We're not necessarily the ones taking group selfies at the top of a mountain, but we will climb that mountain if the trail is quiet and the view speaks to something deep inside us. Adventure for us is often solitary, soulful, and sensory. We want to walk barefoot on unfamiliar beaches, smell spices in a night market, hear languages we don't know, and feel what it's like when we are out of our usual comfort zone. The thrill we chase involves internal transformation rather than external spectacle. Even if you like staying home most of the time, it doesn't mean you're not craving something different, at least temporarily. Maybe you dream of living abroad for just a few months to see what it's like, or taking a silent retreat in the mountains, or writing a novel, your novel, from a lakeside cabin in a country where no one knows your name. These are all adventures too. They might not come with a DJ playlist, but they offer something even more precious: peace, presence, perspective. And yes, there are moments when adventure drains us. A day of solo exploring can be exhilarating and exhausting at the same time. But that's okay, because we know how to retreat, recharge, and come back later for more. We don't measure the value of a trip by how many people we met or how many photos we took. We measure it by how deeply we felt, how clearly we saw ourselves, and how fully we experienced the world. Yes, our craving for adventure is more internal than external. Maybe you're not dreaming of travel, but maybe you're dreaming of shaking up your life in other ways: starting a new creative project, changing careers, moving to a smaller town or a bigger one, reimagining your daily routine so that it finally fits who you really are. All those are adventures too. You don't have to leave the country to be bold. You just have to listen to the voice inside you that says, I want something different. I want something more. And then you take a step toward that. That, to me, is the heart of introvert adventure. It's not about the loudest moments. It's about the ones that leave the deepest imprint, the ones we feel deep inside and carry home so that we can quietly relive our memories over and over and over. If you're an introvert who's been told you're not adventurous, don't accept that. Remember, you don't have to be the loudest traveler, the most daring risk taker, or the most extroverted explorer to live a bold and beautiful life. You just have to keep listening to your inner compass, the one that leads you toward whatever your introverted self loves. For me, my dream adventure was to live overseas and have dogs. And I found a way to make that dream a reality. You already know that I've lived in Indonesia over 40 years. And yep, I've got some wonderful, beautiful, precious dogs. And sometimes I think that having dogs means I'm really not alone. After all, interacting with my dogs gives me all the socialization that I need. Maybe for you, adventure is exploring somewhere far away. Or maybe your adventure is finally signing up for that class, taking a solo hike, or going to dinner alone with your journal with you. Whatever it is, follow it, honor it, let it unfold in your own quiet way. Because yes, introverts crave adventure, and we're really good at making it our own. So go ahead, embrace that quiet curiosity tugging at your heart. You don't need to be loud. You can still be bold. You don't need a crowd to feel brave. Your adventure doesn't have to look like anyone else's to be meaningful. You just have to begin in your own time, in your own way, and trust that your kind of adventure, the reflective, intentional, soul deep kind, is exactly what the world needs more of. Here's to your next quiet step into the unknown. It might just lead you somewhere extraordinary. Are you an introvert with a craving for adventure? Tell me what adventure means to you in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching. Till next time.